took home the title of the Influencer of Year 2022. In 2016, it was Raj Nayak, then COO of e4m Media Private Limited, followed by CVL Srinivas, Country Manager, WPP India in 2017. In 2018, we celebrated Virendra Gupta and Umang Bedi, co-founders of Daily Hunt. And in 2019, Sanjay Gupta, country manager of Star and Disney India, received the honor. Well, we can all not forget about 2020. In 2020, Naveen Tiwari, founder and CEO of InMobi and Glance, joined this elite list. So let's take a look at who will take home the title of the Influencer of the Year. But prior to that, I might be an unfamiliar face up here trying to talk your ears off, but it's time for the man of the hour to give you all a warmer, happier welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on stage is Dr. Anurag Batra, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, Exchange for Media Group.
Good evening. It's our e4m Influencer of the Year. We started it 8 years back. If you look at the journey of all the e4m influencers, they've gone on to do even better than when they were given the e4m Influencer of the Year. The genesis of the e4m Influencer of the Year is for the last 20 years plus, we published Impact. For last 23 years plus, we published e4m.com, almost 24 years. For 21 years, we have been the leaders in this space. So while we have an Impact Person of the Year, which is in the 17th year, which has done 17 editions, we believe that we didn't have a Person of the Year for our flagship e4m.com. That's how we started the e4m Influencer of the Year. You just heard the names of all the past e4m influencers of the year, and they come from domain of media, advertising, communication, martech, and technology. Today, our industry is at the throes of innovation. The media industry has become a media tech industry, and during the day we had a media tech conference, and that's how we put this together. Today's nominees are a very diverse lot of nominees who've done fantastic work in their domains, and there'll be a navy that will run. But I can say I have a good pleasure of knowing most of the nominees firsthand, and in some cases very, very well. I've been part of their journey. They've been part of our journey as a company and my journey as an entrepreneur. So let me briefly tell you about the nominees. This year the nominees include, and there'll be Navy, but we've talked about the past winners. Last year the winner was Mr. Prashant Kumar PK, who's the CEO of Group M for South Asia. PK is definitely among the most loved people in the media services domain. He was here, we did it in this room itself. The e4m Influencer of the Year in 2020 was Naveen Tiwari. We did the event in Bangalore at the Taj. In 2019, the e4m Influencer of the Year was Sanjay Gupta. In 2018, it was Viru and Umang from Daily Hunt. In 2017, it was CVL Srinivas, who's the Group M's country manager. He's like the chairman of all WPP companies in India. And our inaugural e4m Person of the Year was Raj Nayak. So really, it's an illustrious list. This year's nominees are, we have Mr. Anuj Khanna Soham. I met him almost 14 years back in Singapore, and he told me he'll do an IPO. He was able to build Apple and do an IPO, and the rest, as they say, is history. Ms. Anupriya Acharya, she is the chairperson of Publicis in India and the CEO. We have Mr. Raju Vanpala, who was the co-founder of, founder and CEO of Way to News. Again, I've had the good pleasure of meeting him, don't know him very well. We have Mr. Sandeep Goyal, who built Densu India, exited from it, now acquired Rediff 4 years back, and is building Rediffusion as a new age agency. We have Mr. Gaurav Gandhi, who became the head of Amazon Prime in India and eventually became the head of Amazon Prime in Asia Pacific. We have Mr. Gaur Gupta. Gaur and me worked together in HTA. We had a common boss in Sunandan who hired me in media. Sunandan was CEO of Portland. Gaur has since, in the last 10 years, built Tribes. It's an agency which does almost 300 crores in revenue and a very good profitability, almost 1,200 crores pass through. I know God really well. Mr. Karthik Sharma, who's the Omnicom Media Group chairperson and CEO in India, he's recently won the Tata Count, and they continue to do good work. He continues to lead. Miss Monica Shergill, she's the CEO of Netflix, or they call the country manager of Netflix in India. She started in content, but she's now the overall head of Netflix business in India. In the last 2 years, Netflix has done very well. Amazon had a lead in that space 4 years back, but overall Netflix is doing better. Monica was also on the Impact Top 50 Most Influential Women list, which came out on Thursday. She was in the top 10. These are the, and last but not the least, we have Mr. Azhar Iqbal, Mr. Anunay Arunav Pandey, and Mr. Deepit Purkayastha of InShots. How many of you don't know about InShots in this room? There's nobody. So all of you know. How many of you downloaded InShots on your app? The app on your phone. Let me do a dipstick. 20 people have. What about the rest? You don't have InShots? You should download it. It's a good app. You should download as many apps you can. So we have, these are the nominees. The criteria for determining who will win are people we believe who are pioneers in the domain, who would have suitable impact, whose best is yet to come. We'd like to discover people who are on the cusp of becoming even bigger and better than what they are. And when we choose the winner today, you know that we've chosen whose best is yet to come. That's what I'd say. I don't want to stand between you and the nomination. AV, my senior colleague and editor of exchangeformedia.com, Tasmai Laharoy, has worked on this, and there is an AV, and then we'll get into the event. This is a young IP for us. We need to scale this up, and we will. But I can only tell you that the winners today have been chosen through a careful process of deliberation and our understanding of this domain. And when we announce the winners, you'll know that we've chosen people whose best is yet to come. Thank you. Please cheer for the e4m Influencer of the Year when we announce, and I look forward to having a conversation with the winner. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Batra. All right. Could I please request everyone to kindly stand for 30 seconds? Yes, we're going to do a quick energizer before we take a look at the nominees' AV. 30 seconds, all you've got to do is clap your hands together. Right. Starting on the count of 3, 2, and 1. Louder, louder, louder. We are here to pump the energy. Fantastic, fantastic. Don't shy away from throwing in a quick whistle or a hoot. We'd love that. Thank you very much. You all may kindly be seated now. Thank you. Well, that's exactly the energy I'm looking forward to. My sincerest apologies for the slight delay. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to reveal the nominees for the Exchange for Media Influencer of the Year 2023. These individuals have excelled in their niches and demonstrated remarkable leadership and innovation, driving the industry forward. For the next couple of minutes, I must request everybody's kind, undivided attention towards this big screen. Let's quickly take a look at the nomination AV.
The Exchange for Media Influencer of the Year 2023 is a celebration of visionaries who have redefined industries, inspired innovation, and shaped the future of their fields. The nominees for the contenders of the e4m Influencer of the Year 2023 are Anuj Khanna Soham, founder, promoter and CEO at Apple. Anupriya Acharya, Chief Executive Officer at Publicis Group South Asia. Anunay Arunav Pandey, co-founder at InShots. Azhar Iqbal, co-founder and chairman at InShots. Deepit Purkayastha, co-founder and CEO at InShots. Dr. Sandeep Goyal, managing director and chairperson at Rediffusion. Gaurav Gandhi, Vice President, Amazon Prime Video, Asia Pacific and Middle East, North Africa. Gaur Gupta, Chairman and Managing Director, Tribes Communication. Karthik Sharma, Group CEO at Omnicom Media Group, India. Monica Shergill, Vice President, Content, Netflix India. Raju Vanapala, Founder and CEO, Way2 News.
What an incredible lineup of nominees. Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? All right, one more time. Are we ready? So chaliye, let's quickly take a look at the winners and their journey, requesting everybody's attention towards the big screen and the winners for the Exchange for Media Influencer of the Year 2023 are...
And the winner is InShots co-founders Azhar Iqbal, Anunay Arunav Pandey and Deepit Purkayastha. Meet the three dynamic co-founders of InShots, Azhar Iqbal, Anunay Arunav Pandey and Deepit Purkayastha, who revolutionized the way India consumes news, combining innovation, technology and a deep understanding of modern audiences. Azhar Iqbal, co-founder and chairman of InShots, is a trailblazer in the media industry. After leading the company as CEO for 11 years, he transitioned to the role of chairman in April 2024. His visionary leadership has shaped the future of media consumption in India, making news accessible, engaging and relevant for all age groups. Anunay Arunav Pandey, co-founder of InShots, has revolutionized news consumption with his innovative approach. Alongside his co-founders, Pandey launched InShots in 2013, introducing a format that delivers concise, impactful news in just 60 words, redefining how India consumes news. Deepit Purkayastha, co-founder and CEO of InShots, oversees product, data and strategy. A dual degree graduate from IIT Kharagpur, Purkayastha's achievements include being featured in Forbes Asia's 30 Under 30 for media, marketing and advertising. His dedication to innovation has cemented InShots as one of the most popular news apps in India. As a tribute to these exemplary leaders, friends and colleagues share what makes them stand out as influencers and pioneers in the digital media space.
I would like to congratulate Azhar, Deepit, Anume and the team at InShots for winning the e4m Influencer of the Year. I still remember 10 years back when all three of them came thinking of the idea of creating InShots, and I was actually floored within 30 minutes of meeting them and finally decided to invest as an angel investor. Their attitude, their aptitude and their entrepreneurship, which I could see, had so much passion on building the company which they have built today. I wish all three of them the utmost success in their next years, and I'm sure they will continue to build a great brand as they move forward in the next journeys.
I've known Azhar, Deepit and Anunay for well over a decade now. As an early investor in InShots, I had pretty much a ringside view of their entrepreneurial journey. It's quite incredible what they've been able to build in a short period of time, competing against the large media companies. They are incredibly talented, innovative, smart entrepreneurs, and I genuinely believe that the best is yet to come, and they have a lot more to showcase, offered, achieve in their entrepreneurial journey going forward. I wish them the very best.
Congratulations Azhar, Deepit and Anune for being nominated for the prestigious E4M Influencer of the Year 2024 award. Looking back, it feels like yesterday, April 2014, when I first met three incredible visionaries. We had already taken bold, unconventional steps, dropping out of IIT to pursue a dream that most wouldn't dare. Even then, your belief in simplifying how people consume news 60 words at a time was way ahead of its time. As an early angel investor, my relationship with you has always been more than transactional. It's been about mutual trust, admiration, and shared entrepreneurial passion. Watching you build InShorts into a transformative force in publishing and advertising has been nothing short of inspiring. Your journey stands as proof to what Steve Jobs once said. People who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who actually do. Azhar, Deepit and Anune, you just didn't think it, you made it happen. This nomination is a testament to your relentless grit, guts and gumption. You've shown the world what's possible when ambition meets innovation. Congratulations once again, and here's to many more milestones ahead.
Hi Dipit, heartiest congratulations on winning the Influencer of the Year award. I feel your vision and your leadership has been great to the team and something to look forward. This award is also the testimony of all the hard work, determination you have put forward to take the company forward. And this not only is like a great personal achievement, but at the same time it also, motivates and inspires the team to do and achieve bigger things for the company with the people. Here's to more to achieve in life, and let's celebrate it together. Have a great day.
Congratulations Dipit, Azhar and Anune. So it's been almost 10 years with them, and it feels very personal for this achievement because I've seen them building this company where it is today. Cheers guys.
Congratulations to our founders Azhar, Dipit and Anune for getting this recognition. I recall having the discussion with them, each one of them separately, wherein they were very charged to influence people not just at the company but also in the industry. This award is a true reflection of their hard work, persistence and visionary leadership. And by leadership I mean they lead by example, and their out-of-box thinking has had positive impact on the entire team at InShorts, and I'm sure it also influenced a lot of people in the industry, seeing that they come from such humble backgrounds and have worked really hard. Really proud to see that their contributions are getting recognized, and here's to many more such wins in the future.
Yes, congratulations to the winners. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, joining us on stage to present these prestigious awards, join me as I welcome Dr. Anurag Batra, Chairman and Editor-in-Chief, Exchange for Media Group. Joining us on stage is Mr. Naval Ahuja, Co-Founder, Exchange for Media Group. Let's welcome the lady. Joining us on stage is Editor, Exchange for Media. Please welcome Tasmay Laha Roy. And now the moment that we'd all been waiting for. I promise this is the last thing I'm going to request.
I also want to request Mr. Sunil Kumar to join us. Sunil.
Requesting Mr. Sunil Kumar, President, Exchange for Media Group, to kindly join us on the stage. All right. I'm certain that by now we all know that we have Hooters on the tables. Could I please encourage everyone to pick one? This is the Elite List of Influencer of the Year award. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 awards, 2 of them are here with us. I must encourage everyone to offer their loudest cheer, loudest round of applause as we welcome them on the stage. Let's give it up for Azhar Iqbal and Deepit Purkayastha.
All right, is everybody ready?
Azhar, you saw the car he drives? Saw, no? The yellow colored car. It takes a little while to come from Noida. He'll be here in the next few minutes. On a serious note, he'll be here in the next 10 minutes. We have the pleasure of having Deepit here. We didn't want to keep you waiting. So we'll present the award and we'll do a conversation. And Azhar will join in the next 10 minutes. So please give Deepit, Azhar, and Anu a big round of applause. As their investors said, their best is yet to come. If you look at the last 7 winners of e4m Influencer of the Year, all of them have done better and better. And all, Srini is now possibly the best performing chairman of WPP group companies in India. PK has gone on to lead Group M to new success. Naveen Tiwari is doing well. All the other winners. Sanjay has become the chairman of Google in Asia Pacific. When we chose him, he was just a CEO for India, right? He was just appointed. It was a year into his being appointed. I couldn't go on, but the point I'm trying to make, as their investors said, their best is yet to come. But we are happy to be with them in this journey. And today, during the day, was our MarTech conference. Our MarTech awards are around the corner. And the winner is a MarTech company. If you have to be a media company, you have to morph into a MarTech company in a deep way and not just in a superficial way. So please give them a bigger round of applause, and Nawal can read out these items.
This is the e4m Influencer Year of the Award 2023. The award is presented to Azhar Iqbal, Anunay Aruna Pandey, and Deepit Purkayastha for revolutionizing digital media in India. As the co-founders of InShorts, they have reimagined how news is consumed, combining technology, creativity, and a deep understanding of user behavior to build one of the most impactful platforms in the country. About Azhar Iqbal, Azhar, co-founder and chairman of InShorts, is a trailblazer whose leadership has defined the future of media consumption in India. Serving as CEO for 11 years before transitioning to chairman in April 2024, Azhar's forward-thinking approach transformed InShorts into a trusted and engaging news platform. His work ensures that news is not just accessible, but also relevant for audiences across all age groups, cementing his place as a visionary leader in the industry. Anunay Aruna Pandey is the co-founder of InShorts, and as the co-founder has brought a fresh perspective of how news could be delivered. With his innovative 60-word format introduced in 2013, Anunay redefined news consumption, making it concise yet impactful for today's fast-paced world. His relentless focus on user-centric solutions has helped InShorts become an indispensable app for millions, bridging the gap between information and accessibility. Deepit Purkayastha, who's on stage, is the co-founder and CEO of InShorts and has been instrumental in driving the company's product development, data strategies, and long-term vision. A dual degree graduate from IIT Kanpur, Deepit's ability to harness technology has solidified InShorts' position as a leader in the digital news space. Recognized by Forbes Asia as a 30 under 30 for his contributions, Deepit exemplifies the spirit of innovation and excellence. Peers and colleagues celebrate Azhar, Anunay, and Deepit for their collaborative leadership and groundbreaking contributions to digital media. Their shared commitment to simplifying news consumption and addressing real-world challenges has set them apart as true influencers in the industry. By blending creativity, technology, and deep understanding of their audience, Azhar, Anunay, and Deepit have built a legacy of innovation. The Influencer of the Year 2023 award honors their incredible journey and their significant impact on the digital media landscape. Congratulations.
Well, this moment is achievable by missing a lot of shenanigans. Think about all the birthday parties you've missed. Think about all the family functions. Think about all the movie dates. This is what it takes to get here. Ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman deserves a bigger, better, bolder round of applause. Let's give it up for the Influencer of the Year 2023. because we would love for you to share how you're feeling right now. How has your journey been?
First of all, it's very, very humbling to be nominated in such a list, to be considered for such a list, and then being awarded is even more kind of a very, very humbling experience. Thank you. Thank you for giving us this award. Thank you to the jury behind the scenes also, who would have considered, voted, and decided that probably the best is yet to come. And I'm sure everybody who was on the list, all three of us have many things to learn from them as well, because they've been in the industry for such a long time. And gratitude and ambition, it's hard to kind of manage together, but that is something that everybody tries to do. So thank you.
Congratulations.
Tasma has put together a conversation between the winners, and Azhar will join us in a while. We have the pleasure of Deepit here. Why don't you sit, Nawal, Sunil, Tasmai? We'll do it standing or sitting? Whatever you prefer, we'll do sitting, because I have been standing for a whole day. So, let me ask you, I know the story because I had chatted with Azhar, but how did you, name it in shorts? I know it's very self-explanatory, but give us a sense of what were the other names, what were the other names you considered and rejected? Take the mic. Yes. We can leave the trophy here in the middle. Yes, thank you. And have another chair so that when Azhar comes, we can get him on stage directly.
Yeah. Earlier, the first time when we launched it, we launched as, we called it News in Shorts. Obviously, that was the time when things like Make My Trip, like very obvious sounding brand names was very, very famous. And it's easy for the consumer to understand as well. So we were like News in Short. But it didn't have that zing to it, like just saying News in Short meant like it didn't have the zing to it. So we thought, okay, let's add the S in the end. Let's call it News in Shorts. And at that, today, YouTube Shorts is a very popular terminology, right? Like everybody knows what shorts would mean. But at that point of time, it was not. And soon we realized that the format and the form factor has power to go beyond news into much varied forms of content. So we kind of rebranded within, I think, 1 or 2 years to In Shorts, which was that we will, and our tagline was stay informed, that we will keep you informed. So, yeah.
So now, how did you three meet?
So Azhar and I go back to school days. We did our coaching together in the same coaching institute. And Azhar and Anune were batchmates in IIT Delhi. And I was studying at IIT Kharagpur, but my parents used to live in Delhi. And I used to keep coming back, and always we used to chat that initially the thought process was that we'll all get 9 pointers in college and then we'll go for masters and PhD programs. Like we were very academically minded that way. But unfortunately, 5 points someone to nahi hua. 7 pointers the hum. So 7 pointers, maybe it's very hard to get to a Ivy League masters program. So we thought और कौन से avenues हैं जहाँ पे अच्छा innovative काम कर सकते हैं, right? And we thought कि यार online there is so much space. We were very inspired by products like Wikipedia, Facebook that was entering India at that point of time or had recently entered in India. And we were like, यार ये चीज़ें इंडिया से क्यों नहीं build हो सकती? कुछ नया इंडिया से build हो सकता है, consumer product भी इंडिया से build हो सकता है, which is unique. And that's how we started working on a few products. And In Shorts took off, thanks to the consumers' graces.
And Deepith, you make it sound so easy. What were the other ideas you rejected? You said because the online revolution was happening, there were other businesses that had started. What were the other ideas that you rejected?
So I think for one thing that we learned before launching In Shorts, we had started this other product for digitizing notice boards. Like notice boards is available everywhere, right? Like colleges, office buildings, everywhere. And we were like, yeah, अभी भी लोग ये poster चिपकाने इधर उधर घूमते क्यों रहते हैं, right? Why is that not digitized? We have Facebook groups. So we made that product. एक साल बाद समझ में आया कि अभी, and we went and pitched to colleges. They said we don't even have an ERP solution yet. So the first lesson that we learned there was कि don't build something in your own head. First put something out there, see what the consumers are saying. So that taught us a very critical lesson. आज के दिन में Y Combinator and all these programs are out there. They have so much video content. Everybody will tell you, do an MVP, do something, first put it out there in the audience and see how the consumer is reacting to it. But that sort of thought process came to us after spending 1 year launching a product and knowing that it won't succeed. So then the second idea that we wanted was कि यार in shorts try करते हैं. उससे पहले हमने कुछ medical में भी try किया था, but we were like यार we will only build things which we can test quickly and reject कि ये चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा. And before even writing a single piece of code, we launched in shorts or news in shorts then as a Facebook page. And हम लोग खुद short articles we used to post on the Facebook page to test whether people are even liking the service. Then one of the users told us you should build a mobile app. Then we built a mobile app. And then continuously consumer kind of brought out the right forward. So I personally think that every product, consumer product is a product of its time. And if you are actively listening to the consumer will actually bring out the right product from us entrepreneurs in the consumer space. It is very hard to predict what will work and what will not work in the consumer space. We have to constantly test multiple things. Like even today, it's been 11 years, but we've probably tested 25 products. And 2 products have succeeded. One is InShorts and one is Public, which is a hyper-local social media. But there are probably 10 times more products out there which we have tested and we have rejected.
Tell us about one product that you put out, it didn't work and you pulled back.
So we launched this product called, I'll tell you what Public was before Public.
Yeah, I am aware.
Yeah.
You wanted to build, because a lot of my journalist friends called me in shorts, and I knew Azhar because of Business
Yeah.
World. So, they called me, you know him. We saw him with you on some award. Azhar had applied for a 40 under 40s, I think, 5 years back or 4. And they want journalists, right? So can you recommend me? So that's how I noticed the product. But why don't you tell them about the product? What it was?
So the current version of Public is a hyper-local social media, which is where people from tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities who want to create content for their localities can start posting videos online. And that is where we have got a very high retention. But the first version of this product, which we launched in January 2019, was we were trying to make a video Twitter, right? Why can't people comment, react, everything? Why can't all of that happen on the Twitter phenomenon happen on video? We launched it. We realized that on video, when people are commenting and reacting, first of all, the number of people who comment and react is very, very low, because text is very easy, right? Like aap kahin pe bhi baithe ho, you can just text and like reply and respond to someone. Video is very difficult. Second is the number of conversations that are required for a video conversation to happen, they are very, very limited. Mostly these are national politics kind of issues. But as soon as you make it hyper-local, the number of conversations becomes very diverse. Like every locality, every region has a conversation to be had. Like there are conversations to be had. So that we pivoted Public to this new opportunity, and that took off. So we have to constantly test and test and test and test, and not be emotional about, okay, this is, I thought this is one big idea, but maybe that doesn't work. Or even to scale up idea, you need to constantly test and find out how to grow that idea.
Now, Deepak, the attention spans are coming down, right? We have multiple sources of even concise news. We have multiple sources of news. The attention economy is the biggest economy. Attention is the biggest currency. How do you make sure that in shorts and the content that in shorts does is relevant? Is there an algorithm? Have you been using AI tools for a while? Do you have a sense of what works in the market? How do you decide that?
Yeah, I think all of that. Plus, I think there needs to be some sort of foresight also, where the market is going. We might have been operating in a certain way in our first 5 years. Next 5 years, we had to completely change the way we have been operating. And now with AI, Gen AI, and who knows, like quantum computing is around the corner, right? Maybe the entire paradigm of internet is going to change in the next 10 years. So The only way to do it is that you build a machinery where the organization knows how to test, evolve fast. Like institutionalizing evolution is very, very hard, you know, and that is something that we've kind of figured out, that how to constantly test for consumer insights and opportunities of growth, and making sure that even if you have to reinvent your cost structures, your content creation models, your personalization, like to and update it to its latest kind of state of the art technology. You have to be constant. None of this happens overnight. You have to constantly keep trying, and suddenly one thing will work. Then keep trying, and suddenly one thing will work, and that's how consumer companies are built.
Now, Deepit, we're an economy, the advertising economy, and this year we crossed $1 trillion in advertising spend. The ADEX became $1 trillion globally. $650 billion in digital. Out of that, two players, don't have to name them, very obvious, have 450 billion. In rest have 200 billion. Do you think companies like yours will someday be able to break into this duopoly? Do you have that ambition? I remember meeting e4m Radhakrishnan, and I told him you have an opportunity to go become the Twitter in Indian languages. Sadly, it hasn't worked out. But do you think ever a company like yours from India will become a global play?
I definitely think so, and I think it's already happening. I don't know whether you know about this company called Pocket FM,
Of
right?
course.
So it is the first consumer company in India which within 4 years has gone and made a large market in the US. Then there's another company, I don't know whether you guys know about it, it is called Dashtun, right?
Pocket FM is also a large advertiser with us, and we've known them from the day they started.
Yeah,
And
so
we've covered them.
absolutely. So the AI revolution and the way it is changing content creation gives opportunities to
Tell
Indian
them about
entrepreneurs.
Dashtun.
Yeah, so Dashtun is a company which has decreased the cost of webcomic creation by 90% because of AI workflows, right? So suddenly, if you are a creator and you understand the webcomic format, the earlier story writing was one thing. A lot of people used to write fiction and post on Wattpad and things like that. But now that same writer can also create a webcomic at 1/100th amount of cost and earn revenue. And there is a huge global market for people who consume webcomics and anime and that sort of content, right? So Dashtun has just democratized that, and they will have the edge in this market globally. So I'm just very, very happy that all of these people have been people who have like come to us, like I've been advising them, and like the phenomenon of Indian consumer internet is just getting started.
Deepit, with the flip side of an advertising-led model is the advertisers pay for content, and the content becomes a certain. That's what happened to news, right? Vis-a-vis the consumers, the subscribers paying. Do you think in the kind of business you operate, there'll ever be a subscription-based service? And I know you're trying to get advertising from our conversation a couple of months back. I have some idea of your revenues, and it's going well and it's growing, but it's a slow climb. So do you think you're ever likely to pivot to a model which is subscription-led?
Absolutely. I think the future, like if you see how content is getting successfully monetized in India or consumer companies, mostly are ads plus consumer transactions. Now that consumer transaction can be both micro transactions or subscriptions, depending on what is the domain of business one is in. I personally feel that microtransactions is showing us an opportunity, especially with UPI and UPI autopay in India.
Microtransactions, I'm sure all you understand. You only want to read one article on InShorts.
Yeah.
There is a headline coming, you pay instantly and you read that. You don't have to subscribe to a Rahul, to a monthly thing. I'm glad you showed up today. Didn't show up at your friend's book launch, who you introduced me to. So clearly, Deepit, you are special, and his friend is not. But Rahul, that's what micro content is.
Yeah.
But are the numbers in micro payments and micro content large enough?
Yes, I think I would not be surprised. Please correct me if my claim is wrong. But my claim is in India, already microtransaction revenue on
For content.
for content is higher than subscription revenue, except for OT. If you leave OTTs aside, uh, everything else combined, microtransaction is higher than subscription revenue.
Fantastic. So clearly, will 2025 see in shorts going pay?
Let's see. Let's see what content we launch for the paid version.
And now let's come to how did you pivot in public? You told us how public started, what was the intention, and then you pivoted to being a hyper local content creating app. How did that transition happen? Take us through that journey.
Yeah, so when we launched public, the initial hypothesis was that we'll make national conversations happen in video format. But soon we realized that the number of topics that people are engaging with are very, very low, right? So the next obvious, so I'm very personally very, very driven by asking the question why, not advocating for Simon Sinek necessarily, but obviously asking the question why actually takes us to fundamentals of the business, right? Like, or fundamentals of content creation or social media. So when we started asking what makes people have conversations online, the biggest kind of anchoring point was relatability, right? That I am able to relate to what you say or what you have to say. And relatability has multiple aspects. You might be co-workers, you might be in the same industry, you might be living in the same space, you might have same alumni groups. And we explored all of these relatability factors and try to understand who is occupying, which player is occupying what kind of relatability factor. Like LinkedIn is occupying a lot of the work related and alumni
And
group.
time pass.
Yeah.
LinkedIn's worked in time pass. They should rebrand themselves. And
Yeah.
pay me a fee.
Yeah, now with games, definitely. I think that's what makes me go there every day. But there were some, local in India was complete, like location was completely untouched territory in India, where that relatability factor was completely untouched. So we thought, why not just go all in on location? And there were huge network effects also in location play, because in a particular location, if you start getting the biggest viewership, the new content creator, that budding content creator in that location will also come to your platform.
Gravitate to your platform.
Gravitate to your platform, and that creates more content, and the flywheel kind of goes in. So,
You know, because of what you do, you sit on huge amounts of data. Data leads to insights. We're in the fag end of December, we're on 11th December. We still have 20 days to go into 2025. But give us some top line trends you see from the data that has emerged in the last few months. Give us a peek into the future.
so I'll give you an example. On election counting day, just 2 days before that, we said on public, we will not give any prime spot to national election results. We took a big bet. We said, let's experiment with only prime spot to local election results. You can't, it's an app only platform. People don't download apps out of the blue. But you won't believe, our DAUs, our daily active users doubled on the election counting day, just because no other application or media portal or anyone was focusing very strongly on your location and results in your nearby location, right? So counting day was big. It was big for most media. It was probably 20-30% higher engagement and higher viewership. Probably TV, it was even higher. But just because we were able to do hyper local and across so many 650 districts, we understood, or so many 540 seats, I think, we understood that that is the power that hyperlocal has, right? And then we replicated that same format across many state elections as well. And the response has been phenomenal. So that took us to the new insights that people want everything. People want local mandi rates. Like a large cohort of users will want, who are from the farming background or farming communities, will want local mandi rates. Some people will want electricity outage data, or when will the electricity outages be there. Some people will do everything else. And all of this, if you can solve in a tech-led way, right, and make it available to all users across India in their locations, it is crazy amount of traction that we get. So content is just one part, but there is so much more data that even people want, right? Right from voting results to counting day results to everything else. I think people are just getting started as to
Give
understanding
us
the
one
local
or two
economies.
more ideas or applications that came or insights that came from some other things that you saw.
So, for example, one more thing that we realized was that a lot of people want to. There's a huge demand in India for astrology, right? Like the amount of demand there is for astrology, we can't like even even a local astrologer sitting in a tier 3 city, if that person creates content, like he's actually an influencer of that district, the local biggest astrologer of the district, everybody knows their name. He comes on video, people are crazy about it, right? So the level of demand and level of trust people have on astrology and as a profession is crazy. So I think things like these, like, and that is what is the beauty of building from India, right? Building consumer platforms from India. The insights that you are delving on is totally just Indian insights and building on Indian insights, right? And uh, location playbook, a lot of people have tried to execute globally. We are ambitious. Short news, also something a lot of people have tried globally. None of them have worked. So that's why we are very, very excited about our opportunities in the global market as well.
In the first time I heard about their thing, I went to the market, I bought some shorts and I was watching news in shorts. That's what, but I realized it's not that, but thank you. I still have that shorts, but I'm just kidding. And I have a very original joke on it. Me, Amit and Naval started Exchange for Media. You saw Naval, Amit does something else, but he's a very close friend of ours. And we started in my father's and mother's house, and we had the second floor. And this is a real story. This I'm not making up. And we would meet on Saturdays, and Sunil, you heard this story. And my father doesn't talk that much, but when he talks, he's very pally with Naval and Amit. And I was 28 and a half. Amit was 27 and Naval was 26. And Amit is my MDI batchmate. Naval is my engineering friend, younger to me by 2 years. 2 batches, he's younger to me by 3 years. So, they would, one Saturday they came in shorts. So my dad has lots of Punjabi jokes, very, very vegetarian. And he said to them, "Yaar, dekho aise," and he is a person who shaves every day, who dresses up, and my late mom, she passed away 48 days back. She would also dress up every day and so on and so forth. So my dad said to Amit and Naval, "Yaar, tum ye kaise aa gaye ho?" तो उन्होंने बोला, "अंकल आज सैटरडे है, half day, half in shorts." So my dad said in Punjabi, कि कल मत आना यार, कल Sunday है. So talking to you, I remembered this thing that happened, but this is a real one. Coming back to in shorts and in the marketing and technology domain. Now there are other players. I don't want to take their name. How do you define your competition? As I said, there is a premium on attention. There's a premium on discovering and staying on a certain platform.
Yeah.
Because the beauty about the environment is there's new ideas, new innovations, better, faster, some more sub-niche, niche within a niche. So give us a sense, how do you benchmark yourself? How do you define your competition?
So I think we've been, I feel competition is good. I personally don't feel that competition is bad, because competition sometimes teaches you, sometimes keeps
Who's
you.
your competition?
I would say everybody is my competition. I would say Reddit is my competition. Twitter is my competition, right? Other news products are my competition. So, look, small communities, even WhatsApp groups are my competition, because a lot of the people sitting here who do not have InShots on their phones would probably be getting InShots forwards on their phones via WhatsApp, right? And that is leading them to not download a product like InShots. So I think there are lots of competition, and the way each person is attempting the problem of information and staying informed is very, very different. Reddit has a very different approach, which they have refined over many, many years. Twitter has a very different approach. So it is very, very important to figure out and kind of commit to a direction. Like you have to test small things, but you also have to commit to a direction, because as a content platform company, either one can create more and more IPs and then try to be a Netflix, or as a content platform company, one can try to decrease their incremental cost of content creation and try to be a Twitter or a Reddit. They have zero cost of incremental content creation, and Netflix have very high cost of incremental content creation, but they are investing that because they are creating IPs. So there are only two ways to go here, like in terms of the industry phenomenon. And then you have to select your role, that whether you will be a platform, an aggregator, a producer, or a whatever in between, right? So I think if one has clarity as to what layer and what is your USP, I think that creates and protects your niche, because frankly speaking, there is a reason why not everybody is on Twitter, right? Because ultimately the problem statement that we were trying to solve is that attention span is low, and for consuming information, most portals are very overwhelming for a lot of people. That's just too much, right? How do I know what to know and what to not
Now
know?
let me ask you another question. There is, for the last 6 years, this issue of two large players eating everybody's breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yeah.
and not giving them their fair share of revenues. How much of the content you do is original and how much is sourced?
So for us, since we have chosen to be the a tech platform, all our content is sourced, and all our content is sourced via legally valid partnership agreements. I personally think that there is no circumventing around it. One should have legally valid partnership agreements with due credits and due sourcing. I have a strong view on that.
I have to tell you, and I am a little self-pat here, Sunil and Tasmai and Nawal. One day I met him for lunch at Imperial or Pretty. He didn't have lunch, so I invited him for lunch. And we were chatting many things, generally getting to know, And then he said, I have one agenda with you. He said that we've identified in the advertising, marketing, media space, we want to tie up with you. And I said, why us? He said, because in every space we're tying up with a leader, you're the leader. So it was very, very gratifying, though, we have a long way to go and we have a lot to improve. But thank you, Deepit, for that. My last three questions. How did you find an investor? How did you get to these three guys?
So
Manish.
it's a very interesting story.
Yeah, I know two of them, not very well, but decently well.
So we had our first round of investment was from Times Internet. So they used to run this program called T Labs.
Yeah, I went and spoke there.
Yes.
My classmate Richa Agarwal once invited me.
Yes. So from T Labs, the investment was very small. So we soon khatam ho gaye paise, and we were in the last week कि अब अगले हफ्ते बंद होने वाली है company, and somehow we figure out a pitch that premium users retain our product much more. I wrote to all investors we had ever met. One person responded. That one person connected us to one other person, which was Gaurav and Ankush, and that deal happened, and butterfly effect after that.
Yeah, they just did their IPO, right?
Yes.
They just did their IPO. So अब आपका IPO कब आ रहा है?
हमारा IPO, we'll let you know when we are well placed to do an IPO.
So what to expect from InShots in 2025?
I think in 2025, look forward to more innovation on our existing products. Look forward to a few more test products. Probably won't know that you are being tested on. You will probably download one of our apps because we test it through other accounts. But most likely, we'll have something new coming up this year.
My last question, and then we'll take some audience questions. I'm sure Azhar is about to join. And now our industry is the advertising industry. You come from the tech background, and I know within the three partners, he also has the responsibility for revenue, right? Correct me, that's what you told me that day. I was having lunch with my ex-boss, Anuj Puri and Rohin Shah of Enarok. Enarok is Anuj and Rohin in one of the buildings in BKC in Mumbai. Yeah. When you were getting in, I was getting out. And then we chatted. How's it been dealing with advertisers, media agencies? How come you've not lost your hair?
I'm losing some. Good that I have, makes me still happy that I have not lost it completely, but I'm losing some.
Tell us, how do you find monetizing? Because you have to go to brands, you have to go to media agencies, which are the guardians of media investment for brands. Give us a sense, how's been that? Creating a product, getting audience, that's one part. Monetizing, and you've been doing it actively for last 6-7 years.
Yeah. So I think one thing that we've really learned on the job, practically completely on the job, is that we've realized that client servicing and turning around turnkey solutions or bespoke solutions for clients, right, is really, really, really very important. So even advertisers, right, like the reason why InShorts exists is because of the quality of ads that you see on InShorts platform, right? Sometimes even our users come and tell us that our ads are like very sleek and very good, well made, right? So that is a very, very important step. That how the behind
It's
the
not
scenes.
intrusive,
It's not intrusive.
interesting enough,
Yes.
and still is consumed.
Yes, and we were the first ones in India. New York Times was the first one in the US. We were the first one in India to create actually a brand solutioning team inside the company, way before it was the norm in the wider industry, right? So brand solutioning and tech-led brand solutioning is something that is very, very key to us. And so that is something that we've done. As of today, we don't have to create something turnkey. We have a SKU list of almost 200 SKUs that we can turn around at a very fast time. We get a demand today, we can take it live tomorrow. A very engaging. Sometimes it is like you have to say something in the ad, and based on your voice, it will recognize and respond in a certain way. Sometimes it is कि आपको देखेगा कि कोई कॉल कर रहा है आपको, right? Like for example, we launched Bard of Blood with Netflix. You swiped up and you saw some unknown caller calling you. When you picked up, you got instructions for your next mission. You know, and it's a very engaging format. So that is something that we kind of deliver for brands that nobody else does in our space.
Thank you, Deepit. We have the pleasure of having Mr. Deepit Purkayastha. Please give him a big round of applause for being candid. And I have enjoyed this conversation. We can get one or two questions from the audience. Please raise your hand and ask a short question. Can we get a mic to this gentleman here? Rahul, you can sit.
Hey Deepit, firstly congratulations on InShorts. It's
Tell him
done
what you
wonders.
do. I know, but tell
Okay,
him.
my name is Manmeet and I work for QK Digital Media as the HR head. So I just wanted to know one thing. What is it that a person who is aspiring to become a founder, what is
The lows like test you a lot, right? Like funding khatam ho gayi, ab kya karna hai? Kisi aur situation mein kab kya karna hai? You know, like sometimes there are really dark periods. I think if you have the perseverance, the survival instinct, and that extra push, कि नहीं give up नहीं मारना है, you know, I think that is something that is really, really critical. इसलिए like usually when I talk to other founders, I ask them, how many cycles old are you? Because the economy, and especially the venture economy, works in cycles. The startup economy works in cycles. You'll see a funding boom and then there's a funding lull. If there is a company which is 3 cycles old, or they have seen way more than a company who has 2 cycles old, and way more than a company who's 1 cycle old, right? So the cycle kind of creates entrepreneurs, cleans them up, creates new talent, and again churns them out, you know. The economic cycle actually weeds it out. So it's on the churn day, right? It's kind of the judgment day. कि जिस दिन funding नहीं मिलेगी, उस दिन आप क्या करोगे, right? So that low and those kind of lows, many such lows. Sometimes it is innovation low that you're not able to innovate. Sometimes it is growth. Sometimes it is anything else. It could be anything. How do you get through and get to the other side? I think that is really, really critical.
Any other questions?
another follow-up question if I may ask?
Okay, Manmeet. Go
So,
ahead.
so the thing is that you may have a lot of difference in opinion with the other co-founders. So who wins the race in terms of?
So पिछले 11 साल Azhar was the CEO, so he won the race. Now I'm the CEO, so I'll win the race. So, nee, so you have to, jokes aside, one has to have the camaraderie, to understand where to leave the judgment call to whom. Everybody has their edge. ऐसा नहीं होता कि हर पर्सन का एक एज होता है और वो बहुत यूनिक होता है. तो अगर वो डिसीजन उसके एज से रिलेटेड है तो उस पे 100% छोड़ देना चाहिए.
So at this point, let me ask you, I know what is your role, what is Anune's role, and what is Azhar's role.
So we
अगर काम भी करते हैं, चेयरपर्सन बना दिया उसको, काम नहीं करता.
नहीं सब
वो
काम
गाड़ी
करते
डराता है.
हैं. नहीं सब काम करते हैं. So we've had multiple hats over the years. Like I think first 4 years, Azhar focused a lot on our content operations and piece and like how to get it, our like entire back end of how to kind of select content, what is the data driven insights, and kind of get it live. And then, in our business, notifications is also a very big area of kind of building the extra edge. So all that pieces used to roll up to Azhar. I used to look at product because we were pre-revenue at that point of time, and Anunay used to look at tech, right? As of today, it's completely different, right? Anunay is looking at product, I'm looking at revenue, we are figuring out new initiatives, so we keep figuring out based on time to time कि कब किसके लिए क्या role suitable, and everybody has a kind of
अदर को सेल्स के रोल में क्यों नहीं डाला कि वो मीडिया प्लानिंग से मीटिंग के लिए लेट हो जाएगा?
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
मैंने सोचा इसलिए नहीं डाला. But jokes apart, any other questions? Yes, sir. Can we get a mic? By the way, Azhar has never been late for a meeting. In fact, he was 10-15 minutes early for my last meeting. So I think he's miscalculated on Noida. He's coming from Noida. Yes, we'll see you.
Hi, Dipit, I have a very laymanish question. Nowadays,
Introduce
every
yourself.
channel,
Introduce so that.
I'm Harinder. I'm a CEO of a digital agency named Naijo, and primarily we are catering to US customer base. So nowadays, every channel, new channel is coming up with its own app, and they are trying to capture, the digital audience. So how do you establish your credibility? Because news is something wherein people want to see the credibility from which source it is coming in. So how you will differentiate, or how you are differentiating with other platforms which are deliberately distributing news?
So first of all, apps की दुनिया में वो अब आए हैं. Apps की दुनिया में हम लोग 10 साल से बैठे हुए हैं, right? So actually उनको अपनी credibility prove करनी पड़ेगी apps की दुनिया में, हमें नहीं.
Confidence देख रहे हैं आप? क्या खाते हैं आप? नहीं, just trying to. It's after 8. I mixed something in this. Okay, but it's true, and they source news from those sources, and there is a 10-year experience if you have. So I think they have enough credibility as a record. By the way, in the news business or any business, you have to have credibility daily. You're as good as yesterday, right? So, but I think they have a record. They have a track record, and they have the content comes from established players, right? And as an app, there's a certain credibility. I think those who consume it know it, right?
Absolutely. Like if I launch a TV channel today, right? It will be very hard for me because there are established players there. There I have to think about this problem, that how do I establish my credibility as a TV channel, right? But the app ecosystem is very different. It is not that just because you have a licensed TV programmer, you will get the share of attention in the app economy.
And the product is different. It's an aggregated product. It's in shorts. It sources content from reliable leaders, right? And there's a certain experience. So I think with this, and then understanding of the kind of people who consume, what are the behavior. The beauty of digital is the digital behavior. So I think that helps. Any more questions? If not, I'll ask one or two. Sunil, you want to ask a question? Not many people know How many of you know the content marketplace called Friday? Friday Corporation. Has anybody heard? So this is a content marketplace launched around this time we were starting Exchange for Media, and Sunil was very integral part of it, and he understands content really well. Sunil, any questions, any ideas, any thoughts you got while listening to him? Can we get a mic to Sunil? Sahibji and the team, and thank you. Harinder, thank you.
So, we have a lot of people from advertising agencies here, a lot of people from Group M and Interactive Avenues. So, if you can kind of, like tell us how they could be using your platform.
That's advertising pitch.
No, I know, we don't allow that, but then since you won the award, it would, and anyway, they support
Yeah,
you,
by the
you
way, he
support
told
them.
me his numbers, which was
Yeah.
4 months or 5 months back I met him. They were very impressive. I have some idea of the main numbers of both the platforms. They were, and the quality of engagement. But let's hear what's happened in the 4 months. Thank you, Sunil, for asking.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think already our teams collaborate with all the agencies in India very regularly. We do extensive road shows with all agencies very regularly. I think in shorts के बारे में तो लोगों को पता ही होगा how they can leverage the platform. I'd like to take the opportunity to kind of highlight how they can leverage the public app much more. So I personally feel that social media के बारे में लोग हमेशा जानते हैं what is the biggest problem that people feel that social media has. It is credibility, right? कि वहाँ पे authenticity नहीं है, right?
Fake news hai.
Exactly.
Or, influence news hai, let's put it.
Exactly.
Or one-sided news hai. So the credibility is an issue.
Credibility is an issue. So I'd like to delve deeper as to how we have solved credibility, right? So we are the only platform in India which says that the right to freedom of speech is not established for bots. It's not established for people who can't even identify who they are, right?
By the way, my nickname is Botra. Batra and Bot, it's Botra.
मैं बार-बार serious कर रहा हूँ, ये age actually is showing.
No,
right?
I type text so fast that my kids call me Botra.
I'm the elder person
Yes.
So he's more Gen Z friendly, right? So I would say, is that a rub off from your kids and?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So I personally feel that the credibility layer we have solved is that we've said that every creator on the platform will be a verified creator. There will be no unverified creator on the platform, and there has not been any unverified creator on the platform for a really long time. And even amongst the credibility, we have created tiers of credibility, right? A person who just is a layman or a person who has just created an account and identified that they are so-and-so person or verified their phone number, they would get a gray tick, right? Then there'll be a blue tick. Then there'll be a green tick for verified journalists who submit their Aadhaar press cards, right? Then there'll be a blue-white tick for people who are, let's say, state-level positions of responsibility holders, whether it is in a private organization or in a public organization, right? So we've created those modes of establishing credibility, and all of those signals kind of flow into the algorithms of the app as well in terms of distribution. So even if by chance a low credibility person creates something, and since it is getting distributed locally, that person has a social reputation associated to it. Usually when you've seen fake news, most of the time you'll see that it will be some random photo of some district or town which you can't visit and verify. It will be some story about some other place, and it will be some portal whose owner you can't identify, right? So we've solved for all of that. We said, let's weed it out. Let's associate social reputation of the person on the platform with whatever they are sharing. And since it's video, anyways, the chances of misrepresenting something is very, very low.
Deepit, give them a sense of the numbers. What are MAUs and
so we have, so on in shorts and public combined, we reach about 120 million users annually. And in terms of monthly active users, we have 70 million monthly active users on public and 15 million monthly active users on in shorts.
Is there a bucket list that you have, Deepit, apart from an IPO?
Bucket list is meeting my AOP for next year.
The annual operating plan. Yeah, it's the time when you said that. What else?
I personally think that like creating opportunities for fun in office is as important as and keeping the morale high is very as
तो आपके
important
यहाँ
as
बार है?
हाँ
बार है आपके ऑफिस में? Oh no, it's fun.
ये फन काश ऐसा हो
ये
सकता
तुषार और प्रियंका जी दोनों हंसने लग गए बार के नाम पे.
yeah so so I personally feel that employee morale is really, really important because that's what brings in the creativity and the energy and the passion. So that is a very big one
How
on
do
my
you do
bucket
it?
list. I think we are still figuring it out, but that is something that is top of my bucket list.
Tell me which are the other entrepreneurs in the media content space that you have some respect or you look up to, so to say.
I respect Mr. Reed Hastings a lot from Netflix.
Have you met him?
No, I have not met him, but I really respect the platform that has been built. And the way kind of he's executed, pivoted multiple business models over the year. You know, media keeps changing very, very fast, but keeping abreast at the top is very, very like admirable, and his reasoning and the way he reasons through things is very, very
Any
something
Indian
that I align
entrepreneur?
with. Among Indian entrepreneurs, I would say Mr. Dinesh Agarwal from India Mart, I respect a lot. Again, seen many, many different seasons of the Indian internet and building through the Indian internet through multiple ways, private, public, everything, right? And evolving through the times and still keeping that growth numbers intact. So understanding that India actually wants to grow, Indian merchants want to grow, how to deliver growth for them, you know, and creating the trust on the Indian internet is very, very difficult. So admire that a lot as well.
Beautiful. Luckily, I met Dinesh Agarwal. We started at the same time. We go back as friends for a long, long time. I remember going to his office, which was, it took me it was in some God-forsaken place. They're very frugal.
Now they are in a posh building.
Yes, yes. They were frugal, which is a good idea. It's always been frugal. Any last question before I wrap it up? No question. Tasmai, anybody from the e4m team? Exchange for Media में advertise करते हो? ये मजाक नहीं है.
हाँ करते तो होंगे.
करते तो होंगे. ठीक है. Good है. Anybody ask? I'll ask my last question. Deepit, I saw I was preparing for the conversation and you've already referred to it. I think 3 days back you posted about lows teach you a lot and so on and so forth, and you talked about it, that, you know, how do you navigate being resilient and all that. Give us the highs. Give us the highs in your journey. That should be easy. Let's leave, end on a high. I'm sure when our friend Azhar comes, we'll reconvene or we'll find a way to keep it going. But give us the highs.
I think our biggest high was just एक साल पहले we were losing out of we didn't have any money and we were writing these emails and all and trying to get. So this was probably in April, May 2014 when we would have met Gaurav, Ankush and Manish, right? I think that day was a very big high because when we entered the meeting, we were like, yaar, this is our only shot, right, at raising any money. Probably because India में zero revenue company कोई समझता नहीं है. And I think Gaurav with his experience in US and all, he still had a better understanding. So when we entered, it was a 15-20 minute conversation. They went out, ki we'll discuss and come back. And when they came and said, ki yaar, we'll write a check. You know, that was some moment. That was a high which is comparable to no other, right? Because it was a question of survival at that point of time. The same year, in December, we were raising our next round of investments. And at that point of time, is it my phone? Yeah, can you just silence it?
If it's your wife, then?
No, I'll speak to her after this. So, yeah, so I personally feel that in December we were trying to raise another round of investments, and the marquee Leaf Excel of Tiger Global, he said that he'll invest, right? And much more than whatever was our nearest term sheet. I think that was another kind of validation that globally respected and renowned investors are also betting on us, and we were still zero revenue at that point of time. So starting out as a zero revenue company was a foolish thing to do, but somehow the universe made it not a foolish thing to do.
These were like 9 and 10 years back, 8, 9 years
11
back.
years back.
अब ये recent का ही बताओ, ही नहीं हुआ कुछ?
Recently, we've been profitable for a few months.
Yes, you told me.
Yeah, so that's
what I was getting to.
Yeah.
For an internet company and they're a sizable scale, sizable, okay. In revenue terms, I have some idea. He told me privately, so I'll leave it to him whether he wants to talk about it or not. To be profitable at that scale, there are other companies who claim to be bigger, but are not profitable. I'll leave the names to your imagination also. I don't think Deepit needs to imagine, he knows. So, I think that is a big high, especially at the scale you do. So, please wish In Shorts all the success, as all our influencer winners have done. I'm sure their best is yet to come, and I'm not referring to Azhar. He is also very good, but he'll be here shortly, and when he comes, we'll find a way to engage with him. And I think you should find a shorter way between Delhi and Noida. In Shorts, Delhi to Noida. If you ever started taxi service from, air taxi or a
taxi,
a drone, you can latch on to it.
We've all wished air taxis. I think
Called
anybody,
In Shorts. Right.
anybody doing Delhi Gurgaon in the last 4 months would have wished air taxis were real, man. I think genuinely.
I grew up in Old Gurgaon. How many of you know Sector 7? So I grew up in Sector 7, right? Not that I've grown up, as you know. And I visit my parents very often, and it used to take 55 minutes 10 years back. 5 years back, about 1 hour 10 minutes. Now it takes 1 hour 40 minutes, except on a Sunday morning when it takes 50 minutes or 45 minutes. So I think Delhi and Gurgaon have become a stretch. Delhi and Noida, clearly you don't like yourself if you live in Delhi and work in Noida, or your wife doesn't like you, whatever. That's why you do this to yourself, right? Or maybe your boss doesn't like you, whatever. We spend much more time, and the number of vehicles have grown. So wish you luck, and paucity of time is what gets people to log on to In Shorts. How ironical.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
People want to consume most. People have apps. That's why AI is helping. Please give Deepit Purkayastha, Azhar Iqbal, and Anune Pandey a big round of applause. Bigger round of applause, yeah? Mics lage hue drinks sunne ko milengi.
Thank you, sir, for enabling the platform and building the platform that enables the future.
Thank you, Deepit. God bless you.
Gentlemen, could I please request you to kindly join me right here in front of the table? We'd like to present a token of appreciation to the gentleman, requesting Dr. Batra to kindly do the honors. Heartiest congratulations to you, to the entire In Shorts team. Thank you very much, and congratulations. My.
Do I promise we'll come in and we'll get him to say a few words? We'll do it, whatever. Because he's great, I got stuck in traffic in the past. And, I actually wanted to start at 4:45, but for some reason I started at 4:25, and I was there at 5:40. I budgeted 45 minutes. It still took me. If I was 15 minutes later, I think it would have taken me twice the time. So that's the trick. I got lucky, and God bless you. Thank you for being a great audience and laughing on my jokes, and complimenting In Shorts and Deepit on what they've built. It's part of our lives in some way. It gets some meaningful role in what we do to interface with content. So all the best. Always consume content in advertising, marketing, media space only from exchangeformedia.com. And in business space, business world. And by the way, life is about abundance. कहीं से भी करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. बाकी हमारे स्पेस में तो औरों के पास कंटेंट होता नहीं है. They have a good copy editor. हमारी साइट से उठाते हैं, 10 मिनट बाद फिर लगा देते हैं. Right, Tasmai? We break almost 99% of the stories in marketing, advertising, media agencies. So God bless you. Keep reading e4m.com. You can meet him. You can take his autograph. You can ask him for shares before his IPO. Make him your friend. Maybe he'll give you some discount, so on and so forth. But congratulate him and wish him well. Give them a big round of applause there.
Heartiest congratulations to you, to your teammates. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for such a productive session. Ladies and gentlemen, with the same, this is your host, Sahibjeet Kaur, on behalf of Exchange for Media, saying goodbye. Requesting everyone to kindly join us for a celebratory dinner with drinks. And in case if you're planning on posting any pictures across any of your social media platforms, please do not forget to use the hashtag E4m influencer. Enjoy your evening and have a wonderful